your two hosts, Carlos and Dylan.
What's up, Gator? What's up, Gator Nation? We are back today for the preview show against the Texas Longhorns. We play them tomorrow. Yeah, the hype is not as it was towards the beginning of the season. We thought this was going to be a top 10 matchup. We also thought that DJ Lagway was going to be DJ Lagway of old. And we also thought Archie Manning was going to be burning up college football, and his struggles also continue. So it's going to be crazy to see who might win this game. I'm even leaning towards picking our Gators because I think they'll bounce back. That does not mean I don't believe Billy Napier will still be the head coach of our Florida Gators by the end of the season. He's got to rattle, in my opinion, he's got to rattle 9 straight victories in order to save his job. 8-4, I don't think would cut it, especially after being garbage for the first 3 weeks, except for one game, which Dylan or I could be a quarterback, and we can beat Long Island at quarterback. If we get blown out by Texas, could we see Billy as finally not being the head coach at the University of Florida?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're at the point now, and we were kind of at that point against Miami where it's kind of just, you're waiting on the inevitable in some ways. I mean, you got to start winning. That's obvious. He was supposed to start winning at the start of the year. You're kind of sitting at a point where it's really hard to come back from this. And the only way, like you mentioned earlier, the only way he can come back from this is by going on a miraculous, undefeated run from here on out. Maybe you lose one more close one and they say, okay, well, we'll be really serious with him this time about getting a play caller, blah, 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 whatever. But I think we're at the point now where it's wait and see. If you do go out there at home in the swamp against a Texas team, yeah, you have the excuse that Texas is super talented. You have the excuse that, Texas is a top-ranked team and you are not. But those excuses don't really work anymore. And I think if you get blown out in front of your home fans who have already kind of seemingly checked out, a lot of them, I'm not saying the whole fan base is checked out, but a lot of them are. I think that is definitely something that they're not going to love as, the front office and stuff like that. So it will definitely be a possibility and a very big possibility. I think, another thing that we talked about a little bit is if they fired him before the bye week, players could still technically, since we were only 4 games in, they could still, redshirt and let this season be done and quit on the team, which I don't think, we necessarily believe any of the players, like I mentioned earlier. I don't know how many players actually do that. But at the same time, you live in a world where the transfer portal is huge. You live in a world where these kids are going to have all the incentive to leave if they buy into that. So I kind of get that part. And, I'm not saying that was part of the decision, but that might be, what bought him another week, is, we don't want these kids redshirting, quitting on the team. And then whoever has to take over a situation where it's even worse. You know what I mean? So this could be the week. I think if they get blown out, I think everyone will be done with him. I think already a lot of people are done with him, but I think it will start piling on. So we'll have to see. You never know with them, and you never know what's going on behind the scenes. You never know if stuff's in motion already or whatnot. So we'll see.